Good morning, students. Today I will start my fourth lecture on subject C701 Environmental Engineering. The topic will be the groundwater source. We have the source of water, two sources of water. One is the groundwater, and is the surface water. Now today, the topic which I will discuss, that is the groundwater. Now, when you are entering into the groundwater, first the very important features which you have to discuss, that is the well. Well is a mechanism which you are using the extracting of water from the ground. Very interesting, the flow phenomena under the ground through the well when it extracts from the ground. So we'll discuss the Dupuit's theory in building up the formula, how the formula has been developed. Concept will much more be clear. Following the Dupuit's theory, we have invented the formula for carrying out the discharges under the ground through well. As you know, the aquifer is a stratum under the ground which contains the water, that is from which the water can be pumped out, which contains the stratum bearing the water is called the aquifer. So there are two types of aquifer we will consider while the steady radial flow of the well. One is the unconfined aquifer, and second one we will consider the confined aquifer. So let us discuss the first one, which is the unconfined aquifer. Now I'll just describe the picture first to understand, to explain you and make you understand what is the system, then we'll coming to the theory part. So let me see the cross section of the well. This is the unconfined aquifer, that means aquifer top of which is free to open to atmosphere. You see, this aquifer, it is open to the atmosphere, open to the sky. So this is called the unconfined. That means it is not confined. So from ground level, well has been penetrated. It is showing that well of radius small r has been penetrated up to the impervious layer. So from the impervious layer to the groundwater level H, we are calling it capital H is as a depth of the aquifer. I mean to say the unconfined aquifer. Now, when water is extracted, is pumping out through the well, the top surface inside the well get depressed, and that depression, that is the depression of the water level inside the well from the original groundwater surface, is technically called the drawdown. As you have seen in the figure, it is abbreviated as S. So S means it is the drawdown, that is the depression of the water for pumping out of the water from the well from the top water table surface. And when the water is pumping out or extracted from the well, the piezometric surface, that means the top surface of the depression cone, as you have seen that parabolic depression cone, it is being formed, and this is called the depression cone, and it coincides with the ground surface at a distance capital R, which is called the radius of influence, and which is measured from the center of the well. And small h is the depth of water inside the well after the drawdown. Here also we have seen two test wells have been inserted at a distance of small r1 for making the field, for making the observation, well observation in some intermediate points at a distance r1 and r2. Two observation well has been inserted, where we can see that at a distance r1 corresponding to the test well, the drawdown is S1, and at a distance R2, corresponding drawdown of the test well is S2, that we have observed. Now the formula will be developed from the Dupuit's theory at a certain point from the derivatives of the small element we have to consider, and after integration of the system with the boundary condition, we'll arrive at the point of the deducted formula for calculating the discharge for unconfined aquifer. So when I'm talking for the consideration of the derivatives of a certain point of elemental small points, I must position the coordinate of that point in that parabolic profile system, which is denoted by P, and coordinate is xy. Let us consider as a point P whose coordinate is xy. That means x is the horizontal distance, y from the vertical distance of the center of the well. Now, as I have shown, the any point away from the well, the drawdown is the vertical distance by which the water table or the piezometric surface is lowered. Now, this depression is called the cone of depression or the drawdown curve, which is the parabolic curve that we have already discussed and seen also. Now, let us go to the derivation parts of that discharge formula. Now, corresponding to the point P, if we make an imaginary circle, kindly listen carefully. Corresponding to the point P, if we make an imaginary circle, cylindrical water circle, obviously we are working on the water portion under the water table. So definitely we will get a water cylindrical circle. So what will be the perimeter of that cylindrical surface imaginary will be passing out to P? It will be 2 pi x, because x is the radius, x is the horizontal distance from the center point. So it will be 2 pi x is the perimeter. And what will be the depth of the circle, depth of the cylinder, that is y. So what is the surface area of the, that is the surface area of the water cylindrical portion? It will be 2 pi x into y. So our analysis will be based on the imaginary circle, imaginary surface area, cylindrical surface area passing to the point of P, which is coordinate is xy, is 2 pi x y. 2 pi x means 2 pi x is the perimeter and y is the depth of the cylindrical portion, that is the depth of the height P, which is y. So 2 pi x into y means perimeter into y means it will give the surface area. So basic formula, again we have to consider that knowing the permeability K and the hydraulic gradient I, the basic formula Darcy's law gives us the picture velocity equal to Ki that we know. When you talk for the discharge, because ultimately we are interested to find out the yield, that is the discharge from the well, which is Q. So which is Q means the discharge means velocity into area, that we know. Velocity means coefficient of permeability into hydraulic gradient Ki. So ultimately Ki into A, that will be the discharge. Now what is A? A is corresponding to the P perimeter, the point which you have considered in the depressed zone, that is the cone of depression, that is coordinated by xy coordinate. So that I have shown you that 2 pi xy is the area. So in place of x we can write 2 pi x. So and in place of I, that is the hydraulic gradient, it is nothing but the dy dx. So I can be, Ix can be replaced by in the formula di dx, in Darcy's formula dy dx. X is nothing but 2 pi xy. So the ultimately it is denoted by q equal to k 2 pi xy into dy dx. Now right hand side to left hand side and left hand side to right hand side, if you just cross multiply, so ultimately dx, if you go to the left hand side, so q dx by dx, ultimately the equation can be transformed into the manner q equal to dx by dx equal to 2 pi ky dy. Now you integrate the left hand side and right hand side with the boundary condition. Boundary condition means x from smaller to capital R. Smaller is the radius of the well and capital R is the radius of the influence, up to which the curve coincides with the horizontal surface level. So when you integrate the dx by x term, the boundary condition is smaller to capital R. When you integrate the y dy, then the boundary condition is small h to capital H. Because what is small h? Small h is nothing but the depth of the water after the drawdown, and capital H is the total depth of water of the water table, that means depth of the unconfined aquifer. So the integration system boundary condition, when it is frozen, then dx by x means the log ex definite integral. Ultimately it will give the figure q log ex equal to twice pi k y square by 2, and the integral of the definite integral limit is small h by small h upper limit and lower limit is capital H upper limit and lower limit is small h. So from this integration, definite integral, putting the value of r and smaller in the left part and small h, capital H and small h in the right part of the integral, what we'll get? We'll get q equal to pi k capital H square minus small h square by log e capital R by smaller. Take care the matter here. I am talking for the log base e. When you will transfer into the log 10, then you have to multiply by 2.3, because you know log e means 2.3 log 10. So ultimately we have to develop the formula in log 10. So ultimately 2.3 term will come, and pi means 3.14, so 3.14 divided by 2.3, so it will ultimately give you 1.36. So what is the formula of the unconfined aquifer? The yield, that is the discharge of the well, on the Dupuis formula is saying that Q equal to 1.36 K capital H square minus small h square by log 10 R by K, R by small r. So this is the thing. Then the coefficient of permeability K, H we know, H is the water level, depth of the water level, rather we can say the depth of the thickness of the aquifer, and small h, depth of the water after the drawdown. Capital R is the radius of influence, small r is the radius of well. If these three things are known to you, then yield or the discharge in the well in unconfined aquifer can be found out by this formula. Now this formula can be further expanded in different manner. How? Because we know the a square minus b square, see this formula h2 square minus h1 square, this is nothing but the a square minus b square formula. We know that a square minus b square is equal to a minus b into a plus b. So h2 square minus h1 square, it can be expanded in a simplified form, it can be transferred into a simplified form. How? Because h2 minus h1, h2 square minus h1 square equal to h2 minus h1 plus h2 plus h1. Now, what is small h? Now, small h is, if you see the figure, capital H minus small h is the drawdown, that is F, that you have seen in the figure. That means instead of capital H, we can write small h plus h. Similarly, capital H equal to small h plus small h, or capital H plus small h equal to s plus 2h. These two terms we have found out to apply in the formula. Now h square minus h square is, we know that h minus h into h plus h. What is capital H minus small h? That is s. So capital H minus small h is replaced by small s, that is a drawdown, and capital H plus small h will be replaced by small s plus twice h. It is nothing but some deduction from from derived simplified form, which will ultimately use in the solving the problem. So ultimately Q equal to 1.36 K H square minus capital H square minus small h square by log 10 capital R by small r will give the expression pi K S into S plus 2H divided by log E R plus R. So this is all about the, now we can further, small h can be taken as the Steiner length. Steiner length, the portion of the water level inside the well after the drawdown. So that is also called the Steiner length. So H can be put as a L. So finally the formula will be obtained as Q equal to 2 pi Ks L plus S by 2 divided by log E capital R by small r. Why I am deriving this formula? Because our objective is not the deduction of the formula, but when you forget this formula for solving the problem, then if you have the basic thing clear about the deduction part, then automatically you can recapitulate that will be in your memory. The formula will automatically will be in your memory, just like L plus S by 2 or S. So deduction part is, if it is clear, so you won't forget the basic formula in future. That is the basic criteria that I am going to say. So Q equal to 2 pi Ks into L plus S by 2 divided by log E R by R, where H equal to L equal to length of the Steiner. Same thing like before, if we transform from log E to log 10, ultimately 2.3 will come. So 2 into 3.4 by 2.3, that means ultimately the formula, the n value of the final derived formula is coming as Q equal to 2.72 Ks into L plus S by 2 divided by log 10 L by R by R. Because sometimes the problem will come where the Steiner length will be mentioned. Steiner length means the small h, that is the small s, that is the depth of the water after the drawdown that I have shown in the figure. So this is also called the Steiner length, because this portion of the straining water will be strained to the well, because there the water lies on that straining portion. So that's why the perforated portion of their straining portion of there in this L. So this is the concept that S and small h are the same. Sometimes you can use H in the formula as per the problem concern, and sometimes the problem may come in such a fashion that you have to use the value of the Steiner length as a S in this formula. So you have to ready about the formula which you will be using for the particular problem. So what we have, final formula what we have got with the Steiner length, now Q equal to 2.72 Ks into L plus S by 2 by log 10 capital R by small r. Now there are the assumptions and limitations of the Dupuit theory. Whenever we are deducting any derivation, any mathematical formulation, always there are some mathematical formulation, always there are some assumptions, because these assumptions will help us to derive at the end formulation. So what are the assumptions? Dupuit's theory in the unconfined aquifer are based on the following assumptions. What are those? We have seen the flow, velocity of flow is proportional to the tangent of the hydraulic gradient. You see the depression cone, that is the piezometric surface, top surface of the it itself, practically it is in parabolic shape. But for computation, for convenience of our computation in the velocity, we have considered tangential to the curve. That means the proportional to the tangent of the hydraulic gradient, that velocity we have considered. So there is an assumption we have considered. And the flow is horizontal and uniform everywhere in vertical section. Throughout the vertical section, the flow is horizontal as well as uniform. That is the basic assumption in the Dupuit's theory in the unconfined aquifer. I am talking for the unconfined aquifer. These all are discussing for the assumptions of the Dupuit theory on the unconfined aquifer. Okay. Now you know the aquifer in our consideration, we have considered the homogeneous, isotropic, and infinite infinite extended zone. infinite aerial extent. So that has been considered. The well penetrates and receives water from the entire thickness of the aquifer. You must have seen when I have shown the figure that the well penetrates up to the impervious level. Up to the impervious level means up the total whole length of the water surface, that is the water aquifer. So what we have considered, the penetrating part of the well receives the water from the entire thickness of the aquifer. We have penetrated the well through the entire thickness of the aquifer. That's why you have reached at the bottom part of the impermeable stratum that we have seen. The coefficient of transmissibility is constant. What is coefficient of transmissibility? If you multiply the permeability into thickness of the layer of the soil, then you will arrive at transmissibility. So transmissibility is nothing but coefficient of permeability into the thickness of the soil, and that is constant at all places at all times. Because coefficient of permeability you have considered, it is not varying, it is constant. Natural groundwater regime affecting the entire affecting an aquifer remains constant with time. Yes, obviously this is a major point we have to consider. The natural groundwater regime, it is not fluctuating, it will remains constant in the aquifer. And finally, I will conclude in the assumption that flow is laminar, and that's why the Darcy's law is applicable. We have not considered here the turbulent flow. So this is not the actual but the assumption, because certain assumptions if you don't make, then you can't conclude the derivation part of the theory. So this is the thing. Now, after that unconfined aquifer, let me discuss about the confined aquifer. What is the confined aquifer? Let me show you the picture first. This is the confined aquifer. You see, it is not open to this aquifer as it is shown from the picture, the figure. This is not open to the sky, because above this confined aquifer, again one impermeable layer rests. And since it is sandwiched between two impermeable layers, it is called confined. That means it is confined between two layers. So it is not open to atmosphere or open to the sky like previous one. So this case, some direction type of this formula will be some kind of different from that earlier one, because the condition is changed, and this we have come to the confined aquifer. Let's see how the derivation will come from the direction. The basic formula is same, that is the Darcy's law, that is the Q equal to KIA. That is the unique formula, Q equal to KIA. Now here, the X, that is the cross-sectional area of the flow at a point P, will be 2 pi X into B. Why? Because X is the radius. So again at a point P, the X is the radius, X is the coordinate X-axis. So that means 2 pi R. So 2 pi X. And what is Y? Y is the, again for considering the cylindrical circle, we have to consider 2 pi X into B, because it is a confined aquifer, it is not an unconfined aquifer. So only B will come instead of Y. That is the difference between the earlier unconfined aquifer and the present confined aquifer, because we will be considering the B, because here the thickness is given as B as an unconfined. So instead of Y, we will put as a B. So that is the difference between the earlier deduction and this deduction. So take care this matter. Unlike previous one, instead of 2 pi xy, here 2 pi xb, because it is specified by b, which is below the y. So again, rearranging the formula in differential manner and with integration. So again, we have fixed the integration limit of the x portion, that is smaller to capital R, and the y portion from the small h to capital H, like earlier. So after deduction of the integration, what we'll get the let me come to the derived formula. Q equal to 2 pi kb into capital H minus small h by log E capital R by small r. Here just B, one constant term is there. So definitely 2 pi again log E you can convert into 2.3 log 10. So 2 pi divided by 2.3, ultimately it gives 2.72 Vk H minus H by log 10 R by R. So ultimately it is giving 2.72 VKS, because capital H minus small h is nothing but the depression that you have seen. So you replace the term capital H minus small h as small s, and the B into K, as I have told you, transmissibility. What is transmissibility? Transmissibility is nothing but the multiplication of the thickness into the coefficient of permeability. So I have simplified the formula. Simplified means I have omitted various terms and converted into a short term, which is 2.3 equal to 2.72 capital TS divided by log 10 capital R by small r. And the abbreviations already which I am using already tell what is T, what is S, what is capital R, what is small r. So this deduction you have to know for the deduction of the confined aquifer. Fine. Now, this is a basic theory, but how the deduction of the formula came, you should know these things, because if you forget the theory, then after drawing the vertical sketches, after the cross-section sketches of the well, either it is in unconfined or in confined, you can derive and can yield the formula. It will not take much time. So if you also forget this formula, the basic thing, if it is clear, so you can recapitulate the formula very soon. There is no problem of this. Now, let us talk about the yield of an open end. Yield of an open end, let us talk about. The hydraulics of a lined open well is essentially different from that of a tube well. The yield of an open well, there are two methods you can calculate the yield of an open well. One is the constant level pumping test, another is the recuperation test. So constant level pumping test means suppose this is an open well. You see the bottom portion is not closed, and that's why the virtual cavity, the lower portion of the cross section area, will be somewhat larger than the area of the well that I have tried to show you in the figure. Now, what is the concept of the constant level pumping test? Because first of all, some H, that is the depression head, is maintained by pumping out, and after that water is also enters into the water percolates into the ground, that is enters into the well. So the water will be coming in, and again by discharge water will be coming out. And if we adjust the pumping methodology in such a manner, whatever the water is coming in under the depression head is pumping out by adjusting that level, that pumping rate, then this H depression head will remain constant. Again, I am just, for the basic principle for this test, I am just going to highlight you that in constant level of pumping, after a particular depression head by pumping out, the water will start entering into the well, and whatever the water entering into, percolating into the well under the depression head, if that can be made pumping out by adjusting the pumping rate system, then it will be found that the H, that is the depression head, will remain constant, because below the depression head pumping out equal to the water in. So then we can able to find out the discharge of the well by measuring the discharge in the pumping method. How that I am going to tell. So in this is the basic principle first I am telling. Now in this test, that is the pumping test with suitable regulating arrangement, the water level is depressed by an amount which just now I have shown as a H, which is depression head, and then the speed of the pumping so adjusted that whatever water enters the well under this depression head is pumped out, and a constant level, that is the depression head H, is maintained in the well. The amount of water pumped out is measured with the help of V naught or any other arrangement where the amount of water measured. Stopwatch you may use in this experiment. So divided by time you will get the discharge. That is the quantity of pumped out in 1 hour gives the yield of the well per hour. So this is the mechanism we are using in the constant level of pumping test. Now what will be the expression? Let us see. Now we can see again the same Darcy's formula, Q equal to KAI. A is the area, Ki is the velocity, K is coefficient of probability, I is the hydraulic gradient. So I is nothing but H by L. H is the depression head, L is horizontal length. Now again you just simplified in another simplified manner. If you want to form the equation in a much more simplified manner, so K divided by L is called C. What is C? C, what is C? K is coefficient of permeability, L is the length on which the depression occurs, and C is the percolation intensity coefficient. So percolation intensity coefficient C is nothing but K by L. So this thing formula is Q equal to say CAH. Now due to cavity formation, as I have shown, this is open well, so bottom is the cavity formation, it is not closed. The area A is taken to be the 4 by 3 or 1.33 times or 4 by 3 the cross sectional area of the bottom of the well. So here area will not be the bottom cross section of the L. Here we will consider the 4 by 3 L. So from the above expression, it is clear that the discharge increases with percolation head. More the depression head, more. But if we go on continuing depression head, then there will be a danger, because if percolation head cannot be, because this percolation head cannot be increased beyond a critical value, otherwise the percolation velocity will be exceeded and the soil particles will be distributed and dislodged. As you have seen in the bottom portion, the enlarged area, the cavity is formed. So always we are talking for the critical value of H at which the velocity is critical. That critical head is called the critical depression head. We can't go beyond the critical depression head. And normally the working head which we consider, that is equal to the half of the critical head which we are considering in our test. So working head is equal to the half of the critical head. And what is critical head? Critical head at which the critical depression head at up to which we can consider beyond which the velocity will be exceeded and the soil particles will be distributed and dislodged. So maximum yield or critical yield will be often corresponding to the critical depression. That will be the maximum yield. And the working yield will be considering half of the critical head. So the yield under the working head is known as the maximum safe yield, which is the half of the critical depression head. So what is the maximum safe yield? What is the maximum depression head? Matter is very clear. So from a pumping test, we can find the maximum safe yield. So this is the thing. Now the next lecture I will today I will call it a day. In the next day I will discuss the recuperation test, that is another test of the open well discharge. So today I have discussed the Dupuis theory, how the formula has been deducted, how the principles are working while extracting the well. In two types of aquifer we have described. One is the unconfined aquifer, another is the confined aquifer. Then we have seen the open well, the methodology which you are using, that is the constant level pumping test, and next day we will continue from the recuperation test. So you go to my lecture notes, assignments, MCQ questions, tutorials definitely will be uploaded in the Google Classroom very soon once you go to the lecture notes, and the live interaction session will be discussed in the live classes like Zoom and other online platform for further clarification queries from your end. Thank you. Goodbye. Thank you.